Okay, so here we have one of my two sports physiotherapy injury rehabilitation programs. And the first one is for a heavyweight boxer by the name of David Hay, who in a fight last year suffered a horrific injury, which was a grade 3 total rupture of his Achilles tendon. And that's bad enough to begin with, but the thing is, when Hay was fighting with Tony Bellew, he actually suffered the injury in the third round of the fight. Well, there was rumours that Hay was actually injured going into the fight, but it was too late for him to drop out of it, so he persisted. But as you can see in the overview, he was injured very early on in the third round, and he continued on through the fight, and kept moving on the injured tendon. This potentially could have aggravated the injury further beyond its initial stage. It could have potentially been maybe a grade 2 tear prior to it becoming a grade 3 rupture, as was diagnosed post-fight. So the estimated recovery time given to David Hay was 5 to 6 months regarding this injury. And the reason for this is that it needs to completely remodel. So there would be no way to fix the tendon without surgery, given the state of it. It was completely torn, and the doctors actually told Hay that it would be quite fortunate if he were to ever walk again, let alone compete again. So this is the phases of the rehabilitation involved. So there's the acute stage, the healing and remodeling stage, the strengthening exercises, and the sport-specific training. And this follows a course of just over 5 months. And the first stage, being the acute stage, will be immediately after the injury occurs. And as you can see, I've chosen for the athlete to remain in total inactivity until the pain and the swelling have subsided post-surgery. So it's going to be a big surgery. The tendon's going to have to be reshaped, remodeled, and it's going to be put in a full cast until the tendon is strong enough to support the body weight once more. So it's important that the athlete doesn't train on the injured tendon at all, because if they do, then there's a very high chance that the contraindication will occur again, and there'll probably be a relapse. And this could be a lot more serious than the first injury. But going down the columns, we can see here, in the first stage, I've chosen for absolutely no soft or deep tissue massage, because you don't want to be interrupting on the tendon at all. Cryotherapy, I think, will be quite important, because cryotherapy can aid in helping the swelling subside, and it can also help in pain reduction, which will be quite important in this phase. Thermotherapy is good for the same reasons, but I believe cryotherapy would be more important and also more beneficial to the athlete. Acupuncture, there's going to be quite a lot of swelling, so acupuncture will be helpful in these early phases, as it will help to reduce the swelling. Cupping, I didn't think this would be useful at all. And the reason for that is there's nothing that can be improved by the use of cupping. It can feel quite nice on the injured area, but it would cause too much damage, I believe, and I think it could cause potential issues down the line. Taping would be important. Not as important as it will be further on down the line, but it will be important to aid in supporting the tendon in its position. Obviously, you won't be using it at this point, which is why I've only given it a 2 out of 5 of importance. Flexibility training. If you don't make sure that you're strengthening the tendon and working on your flexibility, then there will be a loss in range of movement. And it can be significant depending on how long you leave the flexibility training for. So, I don't mean full-on dynamic stretches or anything severe or intense. More like very simple, very easy static stretches, which won't be done to a high intensity. It'll only be low intensity to begin with, and it will be built on as time goes on. strength training is completely unimportant at this point because the tendon has yet to remodel and repair. But then we must move on to the second phase, which is the healing and the remodeling phase. And the first part of this is obviously, because David Haye is a professional heavyweight boxer, he's going to have a high muscle to fat ratio in his body, and he'll want to be performing upper body workouts accustomed to his normal training routines to help prevent muscular degradation and muscular atrophy in his upper body. Obviously, it's difficult because you're not going to be able to walk around much given that your Achilles is injured. Obviously, this will be cast up at this point, but you want to be making sure that he's still taking good care of his upper body because you won't want to lose the muscle mass that he spent years and years making. Soft tissue massage comes into this point, I think, because the Achilles tendon will have started to repair, and soft tissue massage can be very beneficial. It can aid in the healing process. Deep tissue I still think is unimportant because it will be causing too much damage to it. Soft tissue will be light enough so that it isn't causing issues. Cryotherapy remains important for the same reason it was in the first few weeks. Thermotherapy at the same kind of level. Acupuncture again will help reduce the swelling, so it's still important at this point, but that will soon weather out. Cupping. I've chosen here that the cupping can be used in order to help reduce swelling alongside acupuncture. Taping is also important because the athlete will start to move around at this stage, and following this stage it will get more important. Flexibility training remains important for the same reasons. You won't want a loss of range of movement, especially being a professional athlete. Strength training on the injured tendon is still unimportant. The next phase is it's linked to the previous stage in that you'll want to maintain the intensity of the upper body routines to maintain the muscle mass. And the overall goal for this stage was the healing and remodeling part of the healing process. So preventing muscular degradation in the upper body. And I've highlighted here that there should be no lower body exercise or severe, I should have said here, severe stretching, like serious stretching. Lower intensity stretching is okay, but of course if you were to stretch the tendon too far, obviously it hasn't healed correctly yet, so there's a chance of a relapse and injury. Moving on to the third month or so, you've got the strengthening exercises. This is when the tendon's going to be used more in strengthening and reconditioning. So the goal for this stage is increasing the range of movement of the damaged tendon and flexibility, and this will be done through training. So the first training focus for a 3-week period is introducing active stretching. It can also be done alongside dynamic stretching to increase the flexibility in the newly formed tendon. So the tendon will have started to repair at this point, and it will still be vulnerable, but it won't be as vulnerable as it was in the first 2 months. So soft tissue massage is still important because it can help in the healing process. I've still chosen for deep tissue to be not present in the healing because, again, I don't want the risk of causing re-injury. Cryotherapy remains important. It's nice to use in order to prevent pain and reduce the swelling as much as it can do. Thermotherapy, used for the same reasons, but I believe cryotherapy will be more important for an injury like this, as I've stated before. Acupuncture, the swelling will have subsided mostly by this point, so I've chosen to cease the acupuncture in this point. Cupping, again, will be useful to reduce pain. Taping, this is going to get more important as time goes on, as the strength of the tendon increases. It will require the support. And obviously with the stretching, you're going to be using it a bit more, so having that support there will be beneficial. Flexibility, this part is still important as it's linked to the increasing the range of movement. And strength training will begin to start coming back into it as well because the tendon will be starting to reform. So passive stretching is next up, and this will be introduced to the stretching routines in order to promote flexibility and range of movement increases. And in terms of treatments, the treatments are staying relatively similar. Taping is becoming a bit more important towards the end of this phase. Flexibility is remaining the same. Strength training is starting to increase as the tendon strength is increasing also. There's also eccentric loading towards the end of the strengthening exercises, and this is when they're going to start putting quite a bit of strain on the newly formed tendon. Again, taping becomes a bit more important here because you're going to be putting more weight on the tendon itself, so giving it that bit of extra support will help prevent anything bad happening to it. Soft tissue massage is becoming a bit less important as the healing process is reaching its end. Deep tissue is starting to increase. This will help in range of movement increase and things like that. Thermotherapy and cryotherapy remain similar level. Acupuncture and cupping have now become redundant in the treatment. Taping, as I said, is important now. And that reaches the end of this section. So the strengthening exercises will all be done, and at this point, the athlete can consider moving back into their sport-specific training. This will be good for morale because they'll be able to see that even though they were written off essentially and told that they may not be able to compete on a level like the level they were on again, they have reached this point. And I believe that the training that they'll perform from this point onwards will be very moralising. And knowing David Hay, he's going to want some revenge with Tony Bellew. I imagine there will be a rematch quite soon. Maybe about midway through 2018, but that'll be good to watch. Anyway, moving on a bit of a tangent there. The first step of the skill-specific sports training section would be introducing lateral movements and directional changing drills. So what I mean by this is sharp movements, putting the tendon under a bit of strain, a bit of stress. Boxers tend to do movements in sand. The sand can add a little bit of extra resistance. Sometimes they use resistant bands around their legs in order to put a bit more strain on the muscle and the tendons. The treatment levels remain similar. Again, soft tissue massage is going from a 2 of importance down to a 1. This is where the soft tissue massage will become less important, and deep tissue massage is going to become gradually more important. Cryotherapy, again, pain relief if there is any pain. It's unlikely at this stage, but if it does occur, then cryotherapy is probably the way to go alongside thermotherapy. I put them on low levels because the pain is unlikely to be a case. Acupuncture, again, the swelling should have subsided by this point, by around the 5-month mark. You would assume so. Cupping, again, not present for the same reason. Taping, this will be important as the tendon's going to require some support in performing sport-specific training drills. Flexibility training, again, you'll stick to this. This is important all the way through, as loss of range of movement will be very detrimental to the sport. And strength training, as this is the skill-specific sports training part, the strength training is going to be pretty much the most important part of all of this. So moving on, there's speed and power training, time trials, pressurized situations, stuff to make the athlete sharper with their movements and get back to the level of agility that they had previously, as much as they can do. Similar treatment levels. Soft tissue's gone down to a 1 now of importance. Deep tissue's up to a 2. Cryotherapy and thermotherapy are a 2 and 1, similar to last time. Again, this is just in case of any issues in terms of pain. Acupuncture is very, very far down. Taping, again, is quite high in importance. It's a bit lower than it was before because obviously the muscles had time to repair now. The tendons have time to repair now. Flexibility training remains important, as does the strength training. And then finally, in the remaining 3 weeks, strength training, speed and agility drills will be back into the training of the athlete, and the treatments remain very, very similar in terms of importance. So something worth noting is I've chosen for every 2 or 3 weeks. It's every 2 weeks at the start, just to make sure that the progress is going as wanted. So 2 weeks, and then following that, every 3 weeks, there will be a review of the athlete, so they can talk with their coach and their rehabilitation or physiotherapist